Not a good day for you, Lee. Can we start with the yellow card and the bad feeling at half time? There was obviously a bit of a fracas in the tunnel. Tony Mowbray's just told us he saw nothing over physical.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a passionate arena, isn't it? You know what I mean? And I think when the referee manages a situation as poorly as he does, with their physio running onto the pitch while the ball's still in play, outrageous behaviour, in all honesty. I've got a lot of respect for Tony Mowbray. I think he's a real class act as well, and just unfortunately his staff weren't today.
Yeah, so that's really what it was all about, the physio going on.
Yeah.
And so that just carried on at half time, did it? You were still making the same point? Or?
Well, no, I'm all for a bit of sledging, but like, you know what I mean? Like I said to you, it's a passionate game, and no problem for me. You know what I mean? In terms of
balls throwing or something, wasn't it?
that I've answered the question. All right. So how do you know what I mean? How deep do you want me to go into it? I'm telling you that it's a passionate game. At half time, yes, there was something that went on. It was very, very minor, and got split up very, very quickly.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the game then.
Yeah.
And after Tuesday, you're obviously looking for a response. In a minute into the game, you're one down. I mean, how big a body blow was that?
Yeah, huge body blow, and almost a fatal one. Really, it shouldn't have been that early. Because, like, obviously, if you're going to concede, best time to concede is as early as possible to give you the time to get the goal back. But what it done was it sort of set the tone, I thought, in terms of Pedro Pereira's got bullied effectively, whether that's the referee and the officiating team to work out that he's been blocked. Therefore, we couldn't get to his man. We turn our back and concede a goal. So well worked corner from their point of view, but like when there's a blocking situation, it does need to be managed by the team of officials, and it was quite a young team, it looked to me today, and a little bit naive.
You had chances though to get back into it, weren't there?
Well, I think that's the key at this level. You know, we had 3 really good opportunities to score after that in a good spell. I thought that sort of 25 minutes after the goal, I thought we was good, and it was quite slick in our passing. They had a couple of counter-attacks where we sort of overplayed a little bit, but certainly had some good box entries, some good corners. It looked like it was on the front foot. Then when you don't take your chance, then what we done, we played into their hands. We allowed them to, by giving free kicks away, by the ref mismanaging it, to bring the anxiety into the stadium by them like nudging every ball 5 to 10 yards from every free kick. Do you know what I mean? And I'm all for that. That's the dark arts. And that's what you've got to expect. You've got to give credit to them for that, because it was backed up by a very physical performance that we couldn't match, particularly in that midfield area.
Yeah, and Hanover's got caught in possession there for the goal. I suppose again you'd say 18 years old or whatever he is, that's going to happen.
Well, I think the key for Hanover is to learn his lessons. You know what I mean? That was another occasion I thought we was physically weak, and like, listen, he's a very, very good player, and like the key for an 18-year-old is make sure it doesn't happen again, and that'll be the test of truly how good he is, because if you learn from those mistakes, then that you're going to make, till you've had 100 games on the spin, or 100 games, I don't think you've gone through everything, if you like. So when players feel like they've arrived, or because they've got a first contract, for me, the big test is 100 games. Can you come through 100 starts, and then pretty much everything's happened? Scored a last minute, do you know what I mean? Winner, cost your team the game or a goal, like won the game in an individual moment, and that consistency's been there.
I guess the surprise was you didn't really test their goalkeeper at all in the second half, and that must worry you a little bit.
Yeah. I think we huffed and we puffed, and we, like I say, we played into their hands and the gamesmanship that was being played, and that's got to be our problem, not their problem, and that's our problem. We had one great chance where Famara's either got to get on the move a little bit earlier, or just, do you know what I mean, guide it, because he was there. It must have only been a couple of millimetres away, and these are the type of things that change games and change attitude to games, and then it became stretched. It did become stretched, and like I say, we didn't win enough first ball or second ball in the middle, and that was a bit that was disappointing.
I guess the crowd reaction in the end was the culmination of the two games where you've not picked up any points at home, but just shows the expectation level that you've got to meet here now.
Yeah, I understand that. I've got no qualms. Do you know what I mean? I'd like they booed the performance, if you like, probably in the second half, because I don't think that was the same reaction in the first half. They're a great crowd. All we want to do is be successful for them, and we'll take that on the chin, both personally and as a team.
Okay. Some of the fans, Lee, asking where Casey Palmer was today. Started the season well, and maybe his creativity could that have been?
I don't think he's performed like he could, and maybe, I don't know. I mean, I look at myself before I look at him. You know, why am I failing? Why are we failing to get the best out of him? I think sometimes the personnel, you know what I mean, what you sort of in your mind's eye try and build changes things, you know, like Bennick and Casey's vision and Bennick's movement, and that was really where like Casey's success came from in that early part of the season. Bennick's timing of his movement and Casey's vision. And it was a straight-up decision, really, Smodic or Casey Palmer. And Smodic has been performing very well. He's been very consistent as an individual, as a human, and as a trainer. And I felt it was probably the right thing to do, given the fact that Casey came on the other day, gave his first 5 balls away, gave the free kick away for the goal, and then played an unbelievable cut pass that we nearly scored from. Just felt that it was right to give Sammy a shot. I could have had them both on the bench, but I knew I'd have only ended up putting one on.
Can he fit in this formation, do you think?
Who, sorry? Casey?
Palmer.
Yeah, I think Casey can. Obviously, he can play as a 10 for sure. I think it's an interesting debate, because now we start talking about the 5 and the 4, and how everybody's craving for the 4 because we want wingers, blah blah blah. And you see that today again we failed to tick the championship boxes in terms of that sort of physicality or numbers in midfield, if you like. When we play with a 5, we've got 3 big centre halves, do you know what I mean, plus Jeju. So therefore you're more of an attacking threat and a defending threat. And then if you're going to change everything, if you like, for Nicholas Eliasson, then you've got to make sure he produces on a regular basis.
Just on Sam and Antoine, with the greatest respect to them, obviously they both did really well last season in League 2. But does that show that the club now needs to maybe invest in some forwards to get some more firepower, really quality firepower to come off the bench, or to compete with Andy and Deju to really maybe take the club where it wants to go to?
Yeah, I think we know what we're looking for. Do you know what I mean? We've had it in the past here, and I mean, whether it be loans or sales, those players have moved on, and then we've had to rebuild in those 2 positions. You saw today we didn't really have strikers. Well, obviously young Antoine Semenyo, but like we've talked before, that homegrown sort of developed player is there and there for a reason, and it's not a bad thing, by the way. And maybe I should have put him on. Maybe I should have put Antoine on. It's something I'll go back and have a look at, just to try and cause a different problem. But you always feel like Jeju can nick a goal. Even Andy's one where he sort of got a chance to sort of pull it down, where he sort of just volleyed it up into the sky. It's that consistency really of team selection and attitude.
Okay, thank you. Do you think this will be, I mean, it's a bit shitty week, I know, but in a way, will it be a sort of wake-up call to the lads? Because I'm just thinking about what you were saying about the younger players needing 100 games and needing that experience. Maybe it's not bad.
I think I never like to use the phrase wake-up call, because for me that implies that the performance state of mind wasn't strong enough in the first place. So I think that our in-game management needs to be better. I think that's that the way I would look at that, and I understand your question, I understand your line, if you like, and I think that whenever that happens, when you become as stretched as we did and almost just running on fumes, you know what I mean, with no real idea in that last 20 minutes, then simplicity is genius. And I think whether that's an individual or a team selection or a formation shape or whatever you want to look at it, is simply doing your jobs extremely well, and you'd be surprised what happens on the back of doing your jobs extremely well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cheers guys.